Welcome back, everybody. Today I want to discuss digital transformation and what it means. It's imperative that each executive that is planning for his or her company to go down the road of digital transformation to at least have a basic understanding of what digital transformation entails. In order for any company to maintain or gain an economic competitive advantage and to ensure continued market relevance, digital transformation has to be embraced. In a recent report, the World Economic Forum writes, with regards to companies focusing on digital platforms and digital service delivery, that these companies operate with fewer employees, often by a magnitude fewer employees. Many of these companies are young, yet achieve higher market values than their incumbent competitors. These new companies play by new rules that pose challenges to traditional companies that operate by old rules. This is referred to as the inversion of companies. The focus is on product delivery generally and delivery through digital optimization specifically. The report continues to argue that the inverted company is distinct from the fourth industrial revolution, which is characterized by blurred lines between physical and digital dimensions. The report continues further by arguing that inverted companies are also distinct from the second machine age effects of artificial intelligence and machine learning. Instead, inverted companies represent a change in organizational form. Later in the discussion, I will allude to the need for a comprehensive and fundamental change in company culture and operating model if it wishes to embrace digital transformation. With this discussion, I want to make sure that all stakeholders understand what digital transformation as a concept means, and then everybody will understand what it promises to deliver. First, an important point to make is company inversion and digital transformation causes large-scale disruption in any company's current operating model. As of today, it seems many executives want to embrace digital transformation, but is not clear on what exactly digital transformation brings to the table and what it encompasses. Digital transformation may be embraced as a driver for competitive advantage at an economic or at an operational model level. Digital transformation may be seen as an opportunity for cost reduction. The drive for digital transformation may even be as simple as an executive who doesn't want to be left behind and wants to get on the so-called bandwagon. Companies who are embracing digital transformation are rethinking the status quo of services and products and evolving services so that these digitally enabled services add direct and measurable value to the customer at all touch points. Successful early adopters of digital transformation constantly innovate their platforms and their delivery channels. Well-known management speaker Tom Peters, already many years ago, said that companies should innovate or die, and it is now more relevant and applicable than ever before. For executives to embrace digital transformation and understanding, and if nothing else, at least a basic understanding of what digital transformation programs entail, is required for devising a successful digital transformation strategy. Note that I do intentionally refer to digital transformation programs and not a project or projects. It will be very difficult to create the necessary organizational culture change and sustain the disruption required for adopting a digitally driven operating model and value proposition simply by implementing a project or projects in separate service delivery verticals. Digital transformation requires a fundamental change in the way the company operates, drive value into the hands of its customers specifically, and generally do business. A comprehensive strategy, roadmap, and implementation program is required. At this time, and before we continue with this discussion, we have to agree on a definition of technology. Otherwise, terminology may get us confused. The Collins English Dictionary defines technology as, and I quote, Technology refers to methods, systems and devices which are the result of scientific knowledge being used for practical purposes. Close quote. Dictionary.com in part defines terminology from a more philosophical perspective as, and I quote, the branch of knowledge that deals with the creation and the use of technical means and their interrelation with life, society and the environment, drawing upon such subjects as industrial arts, engineering, applied science and pure science. Close quotes. Be that as it may, and perhaps not in accordance with either definition, for the purposes of this discussion, when I refer to technology, I'm using the word in a very narrow definition as to its meaning. The use of certain scientific principles and laws so as to develop a foundation binary decision-making system. Such system can then be manipulated to deliver a complex decision-making result. An example of technology, in my definition, would be the development of the transistor. The combination of a number of transistors to build a computer, using my narrow definition, is not new technology. It is simply application of existing technology, more of the same in other words. The horizontal expansion of more of the same. Do be clear on my definition for the purposes of this discussion, because it is at the heart of what we are discussing. Let us continue where we left off before we define technology for the purposes of this discussion. I said that for most, if not all companies, digital transformation will require a fundamental change in their operating model and organizational culture. The new focus is on data gathering through the Internet of Things, for example, and other smart and connected devices, storing masses of data in the cloud and rapid and concise big data analysis through very powerful parallel computing also in the cloud. Transforming data into information through artificial intelligence, machine learning and natural language processing and other complex algorithms for informed and timeless action. You would have noticed that I refrained from using the traditional phrase of timeless decision making, because through artificial intelligence, machine learning and other advanced neural networks and complex decision making algorithms, we are taking the mundane and repetitive decision making out of the hands of the managers and leaders and driving more precise and efficient decision making free of emotional contaminants. We are now starting to count on artificial intelligence and big data to identify previously unknown relationships and applying what was learned from previously encountered data scenarios. All that then remains is for informed actions to be taken. For most companies, this will be, by definition, a massive change in the business culture and the operating model. All of this sounds incredible, or rather incredible, if you come from a traditional command and control structured company. And most people will not be comfortable with this change, and neither will they understand how all of this has now suddenly become possible. These people will reason that surely there must have been a huge discovery or technological advancement that was recently made. As a matter of fact, this did not happen. And this is at the core of my discussion. Instead, digital transformation is the innovative application of technologies that have been with us for a number of years, using my definition of technology, of course. Digital transformation is not the implementation of new technology per se, using my definition of technology, but the innovative reconfiguration and deployment of combinations of technology that has existed for some time. Through marginal and incremental improvements in the existing technologies, we have now reached the critical mass where we can combine these various technologies to deliver a more comprehensive and complete solution to business problems and opportunities which we have not been able to deal with before, and in fact many opportunities which we have not been able to even identify before. Therein lies the secret and challenge of digital transformation, It is not a new technology companies implement to facilitate existing business operations. It is a different application of or combination of existing technologies that fundamentally change the way companies do business. This introduction of newfound abilities necessitates and even dictates that companies have to reconsider the way they think about business culture and business operating models. I'm putting it to you that digital transformation is the innovative application of existing current technology and does not in its own right and current definition mean the implementation of a new revolutionary technology. I have been following digital transformation and development for some years, and I am convinced that many companies and executives do not understand exactly what digital transformation entails and requires for successful adoption. Digital transformation is a very broad term and collective noun that is used to describe the application of a number of digital technologies. Today, digital transformation appears to mean the deployment of 4 types of technology use cases, namely cloud, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, and big data. It is doubtful whether the expression digital transformation will forever be limited to these use cases. And as new use cases emerge and application of existing technology is further innovated, these new use cases will be added to the collection of use cases which we have today and which we understand today to define digital transformation. Throughout my presentation here, please at no time should you make the mistake to think that I am minimizing the importance of digital transformation as a driver for commercial competitive advantage, relevance and commercial success. I am merely making a case for particular strategic and implementation approach which would have been different if the digital transformation encompassed a new revolutionary instead of evolutionary technology or use case. Let us break down the 4 use cases delineating the core of digital transformation, and we will discover a better understanding of what digital transformation means. Artificial intelligence, machine learning, neural networks, and natural language processing are use cases for existing technology. Artificial intelligence, machine learning, and natural language processing are about pattern recognition, complex yet structured decision-making algorithms, and neural networks. If you analyze data and you find X, then the result is Y, and so on. It is very much still a linear decision-making process. Except with the availability of massive parallel computing power, these basic algorithms can now be transformed into huge neural networks. Neither complex decision-making nor learning algorithms nor neural networks constitute new technology. These are new use cases for technology that have been around with us for a number of years. These all are merely being applied in new use cases, made available or made able through incremental technological development. I absolutely agree with the perspective that an increase in processing power and an advancement in the coding techniques have made it possible for us to embrace and use existing technologies more efficiently. But as such, there is nothing new about these technologies. The new use cases are the result of incremental improvements in technology and the commoditization of said technology. This is because of the ease of accessibility and the economic availability of more of the same. Once again, it's not new. We just have easier access to more of what we've had before, and that gives us some new opportunities. This is different from when the invention of the transistor caused an inflection point in technological development. Today we increase processing power by adding more of the same. It is parallel, it is horizontal addition of more, not vertical development and innovation per se. Perhaps the next vertical innovation in processing power and the next technological inflection point will coincide with the commoditization of quantum computing. That will lead to as yet unforeseen opportunities and advances. Quantum computing will allow us to do more with less, not what we are doing today by adding more of the same to do more. Therefore, I put it to you that artificial intelligence and machine learning is not a new technology, but the application of more of the same technology that has existed since long before 2019. This is through the commoditization of previously inaccessible and expensive technology. Let us consider the second component of digital transformation, namely the Internet of Things. The Internet of Things has also been developing for some time. Again, it's not new. It is an extension of connectivity and mobility and our ability to interconnect devices that are perpetually reducing in size. We have been connecting devices forever, but through technological advances, we can now package interconnection technology into smaller sensing units, thereby enabling us to interconnect a vast array of devices that we previously regarded as dumb and passive devices. Let us consider the third building block of digital transformation, namely big data. It is the same data we had before, with an added flavor of enrichment through the addition of multiple interconnected sources of data, for example, enabled through the Internet of Things. At the same time, data volumes have shown exponential growth. We've got so many more devices now collecting data. Now all the interconnected Internet of Things devices can and are collecting great volumes of data and storing it centrally in massive data repositories for ease of analysis. Previously, we did not have the cloud and the associated massive computing power that now makes it possible for us to process massive volumes of data. However, we have had data centers, and specifically shared data centers, and virtualization for many years. These technology use cases are still what form the core of the cloud data centers and parallel processing power we are using today. Today, we can, through the Internet of Things and sensing devices on a daily basis, collect petabytes of data. We have massive parallel computing power readily and affordably available, and therefore big data analysis is now a reality. Through cloud computing, massive parallel computing is now available to us, and we can analyze the data, discover previously unknown patterns and relationships. However, this is made possible through the commoditization and application of existing technology. Technology use cases that were previously beyond our reach and beyond the reach of the average company is now available to them. Therefore, big data is not a new technology per se, just the efficient utilization of technology that has been available and with us for some time. Big data as a concept, and at its most simple, is simply the analysis of large volumes of data and the conclusions emanating from that analysis. Today, this analysis is largely made up of pattern recognition, identifying possible cause and effect relationships. The information then enables companies to form and test hypotheses and reach conclusions regarding previously unknown test cause and effect relationships of activity, which can then be used for commercial gain. Like I said at the start of my discussion, I'm absolutely in no way trying to reduce the relevance and importance of digital transformation. But it has to be understood what exactly digital transformation is if companies want to be able to build efficient digital transformation strategies and successfully deploy the said strategies. Digital transformation does not represent an inflection point in technological development. I believe I've made that clear now through the previous number of minutes I've been talking. Rather, digital transformation represents a commercial and social inflection point. Instead of being a technological revolution, digital transformation is an evolutionary application of existing technology. That having been said, If the correct strategy is developed and implemented with absolute and unfailing executive support, digital transformation can and will deliver previously unimagined commercial competitive advantage and the resultant successes. Thomas Siebel, in his recent publication, Digital Transformation, Survive and Thrive in an Era of Mass Extinction, notes that half of the companies that were part of the Fortune 500 listing in the year 2000 no longer feature on that list. Those companies did not keep up with technological changes and new use cases for existing technology. Companies have to embrace digital transformation, but they have to do so with a necessary understanding of what digital transformation means and promises to deliver. Ian Mann writes in a recent article, whilst interpreting Siebel's publication, that it is critical for companies of all sizes to address digital transformation because failing to do so is to risk extinction. I agree with both mentioned authors that the current trend of digital transformation is disruptive to the broader society and economics of trade. Digital transformation is a particular type of application or combination of use cases of existing technology, and therefore strategy, roadmap, implementation and sustainability is crucial. Evolutionary digital transformation is causing a revolutionary inflection point in society, company culture and value service delivery. Companies have to understand that complete adoption and application of digital transformation have to and will result in a fundamental change in the way the company operates, conducts its business and sustains itself. Continued innovation is becoming a required reality. If the executive is not prepared to subscribe to this culture change in the company, digital transformation will not succeed to its fullest extent. Clear and concise leadership is required through all levels of leadership in the company to ensure the success of the digital transformation strategy. Allow me to look into some more practical and specific examples. Let us consider financial services in general and banking specifically. A recent World Economic Forum report states that, and I quote, "When today's customers evaluate financial institutions, they do not compare different banks anymore, they compare different experiences. Smart digital platforms drive the experience of the modern banking customer. There has been a fundamental shift in how business gets done, where staying relevant means becoming an active part of a customer's digital life. This is not only true for banks, but true for any corporate. Banks, like other businesses, need to take a hard look at their operating culture and their operating models and adapt these to be able to maintain relevance in an ultra-competitive marketplace. The World Economic Forum continues to propose that banks have 4 pillars on which to build this new digital transformation initiative. These 4 pillars are omni-channel banking, open banking, modular architecture and smart banking. Each of these pillars are crucial for continued survival of any banking or fintech institution. Each of these channels are streamlined and optimized to ensure superior customer journeys over every customer touchpoint. One central digital orchestration hub coordinates the addition of new features and drives superior frictionless customer experiences on any connected device. The building of these digital platforms should be done in a modular way so that reconfiguration and change combination of use cases can be done seamlessly and efficiently when market conditions demand. Banks will have to embrace a more open framework where it can offer easier and less complicated integration services to third parties. Finally, banks will have to embrace artificial intelligence and machine learning in order to drive improved and more efficient internal processes as well as a richer customer experience. Following what I have said in the past few minutes, banks should not attempt to digitize individual delivery channels or customer verticals and thereby claim digital transformation. Digital transformation has to be an holistic approach. A central digital hub has to drive single-view customer information and customer experience. By collating all customer interactions and information in a unified hub, banks can more efficiently employ artificial intelligence, machine learning, and other advanced algorithms to make quick and efficient customer service decisions, thereby driving improved customer experiences, reduce the time to market, cost optimization is improved, and bottom lines will improve. Backbase, a creator of digital omni-channel solutions, in a recent report writes, "What is needed is a central omni-channel digital banking platform to orchestrate customer interactions across any touchpoint." Allow me to summarize what I have discussed. Today, digital transformation is not about new technology. It is about configuring, implementing, and applying existing technology in new innovative use cases. There are 4 use cases that constitute digital transformation as we know it today: artificial intelligence and machine learning, cloud, Internet of Things, and big data. In the future, without a doubt, new use cases will be found for existing technology. But equally sure is that new technology will be innovated, which will lead to an inflection point in technological development. Today's digital transformation requires an organizational operating model change and, more importantly, a fundamental organizational culture change. Digital transformation may not be a technological inflection point, but it certainly leads to a social and organizational inflection point. Digital transformation is about a business approach or a mindset. It is not about simply implementing a few technological projects. It is a program, not a singular project. Digital transformation requires complete and unfailing support from executive management. If done correctly, digital transformation can help to transform your company and ensure its continued competitiveness, longevity, and sustainability for many years to come. To not grasp or apply digital transformation is tantamount to organizational suicide. Digital transformation is the highway that will take us through the 21st century and beyond. To quote from a popular science fiction movie, to boldly go where no organization has gone before. Thank you for your time, everybody. That brings us to the end of this discussion. In a later video, I will discuss some of the practical considerations when it comes to digital transformation strategy making and its implementation at the level of each of the 4 mentioned digital transformation use cases. I will also discuss the composition of the digital transformation program and project teams. Thank you for your time.